Hey, hold on a minute. There's something... Nah, I guess there's a couple of things I want to double check. Well, one of them's not really significant, I guess.
Huh?
Yeah,
First off, this machine.
That machine. That is kind of weird.
We didn't even end up using this thing, did we?
No. Well, no, we didn't.
I was just wondering what it was.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to answer that. Look at the side here. There's a name or something. IG replicator? We need to use that, like, right now.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
Yeah, we need to use that, like, right now. So it's like a copy machine?
Yeah. Probably copies IG, whatever that is.
Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
That's, ICBTG. Of course. This machine must be here so we can just make all the ice cream we want. Are you nuts? You're one idiotic girl, you know that? In other words, an IG.
Oh, good one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, this isn't the time for stupid jokes.
I thought it was actually really good.
There's a helpless child back there in the infirmary who needs our help.
Okay. Okay, stop screwing around. Camera, that means you too. Camera, you're not being fun, are you? There we go. He was right, of course. I hung my head in shame. Oh, don't do that. That was good.
As long as we don't know what IG means, we can't do anything with this machine, right?
That's right.
Makes sense. On to the second issue.
But, the notes. It was found and extracted from an individual in 2038, and then replicated using the IG replicator. We got the notes. We know we need to make copies of this, just in case we're infected, maybe. Just kind of pointing that out, just a little bit. Kind of pointing that out there.
Sigma, you found a journal in some sort of vial in the safe, right?
Yeah.
The vial. Could you show it to me again?
Why?
I didn't really get a good look at it before. You guys were in there so close I could barely see it. Was it really Accelavir?
Yeah, definitely. It even says it on the bottle. As I spoke, I pulled the vial out of my pocket. See, it's written right there on the label. Accelavir.
You really are an idiot.
What? Huh?
Although I guess in this case the G in IG stands for guy.
What? I don't... The words were barely out of my mouth when he moved. Before I could blink, the vial disappeared from my hand. Hey! What gives?
What are you doing?
Don't you dare. Dio slipped the vial quickly into his coat.
Oh, don't worry. I'll keep it safe. I'll even give it back to you later.
No, not later. Now. Give it back now.
I don't think so. If you want it back, you're gonna have to listen to my request.
Request?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you want this back, in the next AB game, you have to choose ally.
And in return, I'm choosing betrayal and killing you. Ally. Wait, is that why you took the medicine? To blackmail me?
That's horrible! You're using Quark's life as leverage!
Well, I've got some really good reasons to do so. I'll be happy to give it back if you just do what I say.
I didn't realize until they started to hurt that I'd curled my hands into fists. If Dio would only give me an opening,
I wouldn't try and take it back by force if I were you. You make any sudden moves and I'll smash it.
He patted his pocket gently.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelavir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
I don't think if I hear little if everyone heard little bits of glass, sure Quark's life will be on the line. But let me put it this way: if that were to happen, I think everyone would punch you and you would die by everyone's hands. Let's just put it that way, for killing a kid.
That's not fair.
This game isn't about compassion. It's not about being clever. It's about one thing: how well you can manipulate people to your advantage. How unfair you can be. So, what are you gonna do? Ready to promise me you'll pick ally?
Fine. I promise.
Sigma!
Ah, I knew you'd say it eventually. I'm glad you understand how this works. But don't think about trying anything funny. Break your promise and, well, you know what happens. See you chumps later. I'm really looking forward to the next round.
With one last self-satisfied chuckle, Dio strutted out of the room.
Are you really going to do what he says?
Yeah.
Sigma, you've only got one BP right now. If we choose ally and he chooses betray...
I know. I'll drop to -1 at that, and that means I'll get penalized.
But that means...
Look, it's not like I want to, alright? If we don't do as he says, then he'll destroy the medicine. If he does that, then Quark will.
So you're going to die to save his life? That's... Why would you do that?
In all honesty, I was terrified. My choice was far from a foregone conclusion. Well, we should get back to the upper floor. Everybody else is probably finished already. I bet they're waiting for us. I didn't wait for Clover's response. Oh, the long walk. The long walk of silence. And he already entered.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Sorry. I went ahead and cracked it open a bit early.
Dio. In one of his hands was a moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
You don't mind, right? I figured you and Clover would get up here right away. Besides, I thought it'd be best to get this done soon before you lose your nerve. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to the next round.
I glanced around the warehouse. Alice and Kay were back, as was Vi, and, of course, Clover. Where's Tenmyuji and the rest of them?
They're in the infirmary.
We carried Quark to one of the beds. Tenmyuji and Luna are looking after him.
I see.
How's he doing?
Well, it's hard to say. He seems to be sleeping soundly, but beyond that, there's really no way to know.
No change then, huh?
Right. So what was your room, Sigma?
A laboratory.
Is that so?
Did it look like the kind of place where they'd be researching viruses and DNA and those kinds of things?
Yeah, it did.
Was there any of that Excelivir?
Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelivir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
My eyes flipped to Dio for a moment. No, nothing. Beside me, Clover bit her lip.
I see.
So how'd it go with you? Find anything interesting? Vi only shook her head. With a unison of movement that almost looked choreographed, Alice and Kay shrugged.
Where does that leave us? We still got about 40 minutes left until voting ends.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a little curious about that lab you found. I thought I might go take a peek at it.
I'll show you the way then.
That would be wonderful.
I think I'll go have a look at the room Alice, Kay, and Tenmyuji found. Never know. Maybe you missed something. Perhaps there's some Excelivir hidden somewhere in there.
What a bastard.
Then I shall take you there.
What about you two? Where are you going?
Well, I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
Then I will too. Glad that's settled.
She nodded to Clover, and they disappeared through the magenta door. Dio and Kay followed a few footsteps behind. And then Vi's gonna come up to us. Okay then. Guess we should be going too.
Hold on.
She knows.
Show me that journal first. Dio told me about it. You wouldn't tell me anything about the lab, except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language. He said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah. One sec. She can read that language, I bet. I dug the journal out of my hand and handed it to Vi. And it has some stuff about Excelivir. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
This is Latin.
Latin? You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly. This looks like some kind of research log. It's not going to be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it, mostly conjunctions and things like that. But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Vi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then suddenly she stopped.
Wait. I can read this one. Page 216. This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me. This is gonna take a minute.
Talk about the suspense.
Interesting. Alright, I think I got it. It looks like they're talking about Radical 6.
What? Why are they talking about that?
Not sure. Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. Yep. If we assume the brain currently operates on one-on-one basis with regards to time, Radical 6 reduces it to 1 square root of 1/6, or approximately 1 to 0.408. Yeah, we already know that. This means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that only 0.408 seconds have passed inside, like I said. Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or square root of 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds passed in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel as if only 4 seconds had passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Radical is another term for what is also known as root operation, the function inverse to that taking of power. In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something that is extreme or severe. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is, as of yet, no direct link between suicidal urges and the reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if it were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact, 24.5 seconds have passed. Given this increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. When theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with massive amounts of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a target antiviral could kill, or at least disable, Radical 6. But we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I've continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The bodies of those dead from suicide are piled along the roads leading into and out of town. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay. The sky is filled with the constant buzzing of flies. At times, their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sun. Every day, I see more crows and rats are everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy-looking creatures are the stray cats, who have grown fat on the plentiful rodent diet. This sounds familiar, just gotta point that out. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is only the hope that remains for the human race. Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. Whoa. That's a lot of information. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's, what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
That's the important part. Yeah, you're right. That would explain why Quark was, well, trying to kill himself.
There are two other things in here that worry me. First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
I make of it as kind of weird, because we found it. What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written? I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Accelavir that cures it. Yeah, how do we know it?
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
I want to know how Luna knew that. Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even written?
December 29th. No year.
Well, there's no way it was written this year. Where'd my stylus go? Whatever. Let me... No? Where was it? Where did it say that? No way it was made this year, yet it was found and extracted from an individual in 2038. Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah, probably not.
I still want to know where my stylus is. I'll be right back. I'm back with a blurry camera. Gonna focus in on me? There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, found it. So, now, what do we got going here?
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, what's
The
going
second
on?
concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions. The newspaper article said something about quarantining people, too. After we read it, we all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities? But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters? Which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
But Quark's been infected, right?
And maybe the virus got in somehow.
That would be... bad. That would be very bad.
Just think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time. Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow. Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
Right. It's all just speculation, but...
No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? But most importantly, why the hell are we playing the notary game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic. He's got a really good point.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
We don't have enough information to make any real conclusions.
I'm hoping this is recording okay. I keep getting a little buzzy and laggy sort of thing looking.
I think we should see if we can find anything else.
Vi had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, were you coming to the infirmary with me?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
And with that, she was gone. Man. I let out a long, tired sigh and started off toward the infirmary. How's he doing?
He seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
I see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
I made my way around the partition to the side of Quark's bed. The journal and the thing Vi and I had talked about would definitely need to be addressed. But for the moment, the AB game was what I needed to concentrate on. Lives were at stake. Mine. And Quark's. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. What if we weren't able to restrain him a second time? What if he managed to kill himself before we got him? Or perhaps he'd just get out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing him forever. There was only one way to save Quark, and that was with Excelivir. Unfortunately, Dio has stolen it. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote ally. But if I did, there was an excellent chance that I would end up dead. The question was, then, what to do? Sacrifice myself to save Quark? Now, there's one problem here. I think I'm gonna choose Betray for a certain reason first. Want me to tell you why? Do you remember the time when I was with Tenmuji and stuff? Yeah, I think you all remember how Mr. Dio decided to, like, say stuff like, why would you save him? And all that sort of stuff. So you all know that if I choose ally, it kills me, or it kills Sigma, whatever you want to say, and then he also betrays everyone by the word and just breaks it anyway. You gotta think about that for a second. Or keep quiet about the danger he was in to save myself. It was so faint, I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It was enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking How could I even consider letting a child die in my place? Fine, I'll choose Ally and show you all that he's gonna break it. Since that's how you're supposed to do it, I guess. Suddenly my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. That I had considered letting Quark die, even for a minute, was pathetic. There was only one choice. There had only ever been one choice. No way was I going to leave Quark to die. My hands tightened into fists as I looked down at him. Any certainty I'd felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
What about you?
Not going. I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you gonna do if Kay and Alice vote betray?
Nothing, I suppose. Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right? Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see? Doesn't matter if I go into the AV room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Tenmuji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright, take care of Quark.
Of course. You worry about yourself.
Let's go.
Okay.
Luna and I headed out of the infirmary, leaving Tenmuji and Quark behind. When we got to the warehouse, we found everyone else waiting for us. Well, not quite everyone. One other person was missing. Hey, where's Dio?
Take a look at the doors.
They're all closed. When we came in here before, the one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
That he went in, I guess.
Exactly.
That bastard. He'd probably been worried if I might try and take the Accelavir from him by force, so he'd hidden himself in the AB room. What a coward. I'd made my mind up to choose Ally no matter what, but a part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he dropped his guard. Now he'd made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Luna explained Tenmyoji's choice.
I see. Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
Right. What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Yes. As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, Kay's BP will go up to 9.
But what if he forces you?
Ha ha ha.
That laugh.
You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well, I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
I just can't. Shall we go, Alice?
Hey, hold on a minute there.
Kay continued briskly towards the AB room, as if he simply hadn't heard Vi. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared into the third room from the left.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off at a trot toward the second room from the right, and were soon out of sight inside it. All right, Clover, time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
I sighed to myself and headed toward the leftmost AB room. We all know what that says.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to save. In case the game decides to freeze, because it has been known to do that. Okay. What am I gonna do? I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm going to choose Ally.
You can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us to Ally doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pick Betray.
Do you really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to?
I know. Okay. Well, there's a chance. There's either that or that, but I'm pretty sure this is if you choose Betray. Almost positive. But let's see.
No. No way. He's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points.
Then again, you'll have 9 points, and you could walk off too. Well, what about you?
Huh?
You've got 6 BP too, right? If Dio chose Ally, and we chose Betray, then you'd have 9 PP.
What? No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I've made up my mind. That's who I am. The only choice is Ally. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine back.
That's why Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Accelavir, even if you do what he says?
That's what I said before. Maybe he won't, but I can guarantee that he'll destroy it if I pick Betray. That's who he is.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Oh. Huh? Before I realized what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran towards the voting machine. No! Stop! I snatched her by the arm and hauled backward with all my strength.
Ow!
Sorry. Guess that was a little too hard, huh?
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You can't just throw a girl around like that.
Well, you're the one who tried to trick me.
But you're gonna die! Dio's going to kill you! You can't do this! I don't want you to die.
Ten seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that, Clover. I gave her my best reassuring nod and turned to face the polling machine.
3, 2, 1.
Well, I said I was gonna choose Ally second, like, as in, I'll choose it first. So, let's see how much of a jerk Dio can be. I'm almost positive he's going to break it, but
Round
I'll
2
be very
of the
surprised.
Ambidex game has been completed.
I'll be very surprised if he, yeah.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Clover and I stepped out of the AB room. For several long moments, we just stared at one another. Words weren't necessary. Everything she would have tried to tell me, I could already see in her eyes. Let's go. I turned and headed toward the results screen.
Sigma.
I heard her behind me, her voice barely louder than a whisper. The choice was already made. I stood up straight and kept walking. Yep. Okay, and Alice chose betray? Wow. Wow. Just gotta put that out there.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
We all don't want to see this.
What?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Suddenly, all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soporil. I blinked, and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. Now everyone's going to attack Dio, and I think I'll be happy because at least Dio will be punched to death. Much better than, or much more painful than my death. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it! You'll keep your promise, god damn it! I groaned and with a Herculean effort lifted my head and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow, I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then, at last... The smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine.
Give it back. Don't act like it's yours. Are we supposed to share everything we find here?
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
Punch this guy. That's what I'm saying. We found Axelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So?
Yeah, guess what? I'm dying, but you're going to die now too. I kept my promise. Now you. I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Axelavir. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. Exactly. As well as everyone else. I gathered as much of my mind as I could, and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
He's gonna throw it. With a shrug, he pulled out the vial out of his pocket and tossed it towards me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried I might drop it. The label said unmistakably Axelavir. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me, and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it. And with the next one.
First, is this over real? Which puts you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tumocurine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
9 minutes. Once the Soparil was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxant followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5. Give her a little, take her little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up till the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Think! If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life yet. There had to be an answer. Game over. What? Wow. What's up with all the to be continueds? What was that ending? There's those left. What's up with, not that, yeah. And that, like, that was that icon, but now it's not that icon anymore. Makes me wonder. Just wonder a little bit. But yeah, that will be it this time. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you all next time. Have a great night.